What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, May 7th to all of you. Thank you for watching us here on Pub Sports Radio. I'm coming off a very disappointing Thursday. Extremely disappointing. 1-4 in MLB. Barely holding on to plus units in MLB. 2-3 in NHL. Barely holding on to plus units in NHL. And then an ugly night in NBA to continue my ugly season. That's where we stand. And I need glory right now. I need to start this weekend off with glory right now. We are back on our original Pub Sports Radio page. Those of you watching us right now, thank you for joining us over here on this page. This is where we'll be from now on. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Fap win. Royal Australian race, Ascot race 1. The 3 Beret odds are 4-1. Perfect race for it to win. We'll sit behind the pacemakers. Swoop, late drop. Nice. Okay. Let's copy and paste that from our Fap win. Coming to us from Australia. Pop that in right now. Fap, thank you. So this is our last show with these with a full NHL schedule. It'll be playoffs when we come back on Tuesday. Also, NBA playoffs are very soon. So this is our last show of this 6 weeks of MLB, NHL, and NBA going on with regular season at the same time, which is just being extremely difficult for me to cap. Extremely difficult to put all this time on prep. And I'm looking forward to get a second to take a breath. And when things get a little lighter, and it's only baseball pretty much, Lodol's Loshak will be rolling with us as well, which is very exciting. Brian Watson in the house says, time to get that cash. Yes, Brian, time to get that cash. We have Slats 45. You know what? Let me just fix this camera angle slightly here. There we go. We have Slats 45 in there. Says, rough night for me also. Guess Canucks didn't like to use condom joke. I blame Koskinen. That's the last time we'll see Koskinen between the pipes of 4 shots, 4 goals. He didn't make a save. So at least we hit the over 6. That was a thank God for that addition. But Stalock will be the backup goaltender from then on in. Oilers parlays destroyed everywhere on Caps regulation. Astros, White Sox -1/2, first 5, and Phillies team total over 3.5. Sharpie put that move out, that Phillies team total. I haven't moved on it yet. I have moved on 3 bets in MLB, 1 in NBA. Got the Cavaliers at plus 10.5. I gave it out on radio this morning on the Rob Mike Richards show, and they use Sports Interaction. They're sponsored by Sports Interaction. So Sports Interaction finally dropped it at 10. So but I got it at 10.5 when I bet it, and I put it out. There's David Sharp in the house. There's Puzzler, my guy Puzzler. Joe Yurkovich, 2-2 small profit in MLB, ready to go on a run. Let's go on that run right this very second. There's Birdie, says bounce back, hit a 9-1 banger this morning. Jeez. This morning. What the hell were you what are you betting? Are you over in God, what are you betting? Slovenian basketball? What the hell are you betting this morning, Birdie? Andre L. in the house. Maybe you're betting horses over in Australia? North Ender, Lee Feathercheck. There's Earl Sports Bets. Earl, great work by our man Earl Sports Bets. We'll be back on this show very soon. And Ascot horses. Nice job, Birdie. And Spenny Pennybomb saying, yeah, we're playing UK right now. I love it. Earl made the biggest bet of his year on the Bruins. That was the easiest situation of the year. I don't know why I didn't open it up. I don't know why I didn't open my bankroll up on it. Just did a regular unit on the Bruins -1.5. Great thinking, Earl, and smart work. There's Spenny Penny Bombs. We got Turnsy in the house. CT Bays says, thankful for the Rays comeback. Let's get this cash Friday. Rays are rolling right now. 8-run, 8th inning for them. Or was it a 7-run, 8th inning, I guess. Johnny K says, McDavid got there in Draisaitl as per usual. Attaboy, Birdie. Nice work. Spenny Pennybombs had New Jersey small play, saved my parlay, and also hit the Matthews goal and McDavid over assist prop parlay. Nice job. There's Tim Montana. There's Paul Thompson. Our man Paul Thompson Man, I hope you can join us for the Preakness on Saturday. We'll be doing all-day thoroughbred races on Saturday, not this Saturday, so a week tomorrow. And I hope you can join us, Paul. I've missed capping with you. All right. We got a ton of work to do. There's K-Prop TJ in the house. North Ender, CT Bays. We got to get to work. Jacksonville Zoe. A huge day ahead of us. Oh, Bruins shutout, Johnny K. That was brilliant. Plus 800. That was such a smart idea. And here we go. Spenny Penny Bombs is also on Capitals -1 in regulation. Minnesota team total over 3. Okay, sorry. Wait, am I doing this right? Washington -1 regulation. Minnesota team total over 3 and -110 for Minnesota. And then Colorado -1.5 parlay plus 193. Okay, there. Sorry, I'm doing this wrong. Washington -1 regulation is plus 120. Minnesota team total over 3 is -110, and then a Minnesota money line. Colorado -1.5 parlay at plus 193. All right, we have a huge card ahead of us. Huge card. Let's get to work. There's Hustle Wilson ready to get to work. CT Bay says, someone tell me why the White Sox line looks too easy. We'll break down all those games, and we have a ton ahead of us, so let's get right into it right now. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Pub Sports Radio. This is Betting with the Bag. We started at 2:20 p.m. in MLB. Let's just go over the atrocity of last night's MLB for me. Twins first 5 -0.5. -125, my lone casher. Nationals first 5, I was watching that game in disgust. Nationals first 5 -105 was a loss. Atlanta, Washington first 5 over 5 was a loss. Marlins first 5 -0.5, I probably should have gone full game, was a loss. And then adding that Angels Tampa Bay run in the first inning was ridiculous. And it was bad capping because, of course, Colin McHugh wants to start for the Rays. He's been coming out of the bullpen. He gets a chance to be an opener. He wants to show the Rays that he can be a starter. He's finally that's the situation he's comfortable in. He's not being a reliever. He's being a starter in his career. So he gets the opening spot. He strikes out 5 of 6 batters. It was a poor decision thinking that McHugh would get touched there when he had so much to prove. I mean, he's got I don't want to say his career is on the line, but his job is. And that was a mistake. There's Dommy Gun Ricci. He's going to help us out a lot today. We're in MLB. So with that terrible 1-4 day, we are very vulnerable. We're sitting with 81 wins, 70 losses, plus 0.56 units. Our ROI 0.37%. Our average line -114. The VIG is too high. Let's get to work right now. We start with the Pittsburgh Pirates at Chicago Cubs. Brian Watson said Nats can't hit, being underbet a lot. I thought Soto was going to be in the lineup. When I saw that lineup, I was like, what have I done? All right, and North Ender says, careful betting the Wings. We got Kivlinik's first career start. He's lighting up the NHL. Interesting, North Ender. Okay, let's get to work right now. We start with Pittsburgh Pirates at Chicago Cubs. Pirates 13-17, 8-10 on the road at the Cubbies, 15-16, 11-7 at home at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's bring up the situation we're dealing with. The Pirates open up at plus 125 at Pinnacle. They're now plus 131, a 6-cent move towards the Cubs and Zach Davies. Move over to the total here. This total sitting at 7.5. The juice was -116 to the under. It's now -111. So a 5-cent move at Pinnacle for the over. 55 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 11 miles per hour sideways in. We have Trevor Cahill going up against Zach Davies. Cahill 1-3, 7.40 ERA, 1.52 WHIP, 24 1/3, 24 Ks, 8 walks, 3 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and a 12-5 loss at home to the Cardinals. He looks susceptible. Zach Davies 1-2, 8.22 ERA, 2.13 WHIP, 23 innings, 17 Ks, 18 walks, 3 home runs, 18 walks. He's got more walks than strikeouts so far this year. He looks poor. Last start, he went 4 innings. He looked a little better. 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 3 Ks, and a 3-2 win at Cincy. They're certainly not going to let him see a lineup a third time. Pirates first righties, 233, 662 OPS. Cubs first righties, 218, 700 OPS. Pirates bullpen and Cubs bullpen both have been good. Pirates bullpen has been really good. 3.56 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, converted 5 of 6 save opportunities. Cubs bullpen 3.79 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, converted 6 of 9 save opportunities. Let's go to batter versus pitcher. And we got my guy Jose on the 1s and 2s producing the show and doing a great job of that. Want to shout out Jose. Also want to shout out Big Show Picks, who's doing our timestamps at the end of the show. Both guys, much love to both of you. Mitch Fearing says, can't trust Cahill right now. CT Bay says Pirates win a high-scoring game, taking the plus money. David Trump says, I want to bet my life on the first game over when I see a 7.5. Is this fishy? 2 shitty pitchers and a 7.5. Well, the weather will help the pitchers. Let's go to batter versus pitcher right now. We have the Cubs hitting 273, 779 against Cahill. Not, decent numbers. They're only hitting 218 with a 700 OPS versus righties right now. Who hits him hard? Hayward, 5 for 12 with a homer. Bryant's only seen him in 1 at-bat. Baez's only seen him in 3 at-bats. Rizzo's 2 for 10 with a homer. So 2 home runs and 44 at-bats. 12 hits, just 3 extra base hits and 44 at-bats. Against Zach Davies, they're hitting 298 with an 824 OPS. Frazier and Moran each have 2 home runs against them. Isaiah Bolton says, fade Davies. Says, I went to high school with him in Arizona. There's JoJo Rich in the house. CT Base says a couple Pirates with good numbers. K-Prop says, I'm on the Cubs minus 140. I expect Davies to come back to form against this pathetic offense. Cubs bats heating up. K-Prop says, if you are on the over, first 5 is safer with these pens. Plus, you lose in that bat at the bottom of the ninth. In the bottom of the ninth, that's if the Cubbies win. These fishy market moves I've been trying to stay off as many as I could. And I did everything to stay off the Twins yesterday, and the Rangers went outright. We did cash the Twins' first 5, which was fortunate. And here we're sitting with a 7.5 with Cahill and Davies. Ugh. Ron Lofton, great to see you, my man. Juan Ruiz. Ron Lofton's brother, close friends with the gas station's brother. Both played ball together growing up. Very, very cool. Oh, man. So we have another cent has moved to the over. So people are betting this over. I think it's a very smart thought by K-Prop TJ saying focus on the first 5. Kevin Riley, no worries. No worries. No need to apologize. No worries. Mitch Fearing says, fishy afternoon game, fishy lines, stay the hell off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to trust here, man. CT Base says, Frazier, Moran, Reynolds, best hitters, a nice sample size. All right, why don't we take a look at what this first 5 is? If you want to lean towards the first 5, the first 5 is sitting at 4. That is pretty nice. The 4 is pretty nice. You think that Cahill and Davies can keep this 3 or less? Joe Yurkovich says you can get a Pittsburgh team total at 3.5 plus juice for the over. And Ron Lofton sending out love, thoughts, and prayers to our man Gas Station Sushi. I spoke with Gas Station on the phone yesterday, and it's really kind of you to send the love over to him, Ron. His dad is very close to the end here, and he's going over to California to be with him and to be with the family. And it's a tough time right now for the fam. He's a really incredible man, Gas's dad. And so, yes, as much love as we can over there. Thank you for saying that, Ronnie, my guy. All right, Christopher Aguero says, like some of you, was a horrid day yesterday. It's okay. Ready to get winners today. So, with all that being said, do we really think that Cahill and Davies can keep this under 4 runs? K-Prop says Pitt haven't scored over 3.5 in 4 straight. K-Prop says bats are so cold, Frazier's awful. Okay, we don't have time to sit here and hum and haw, but that first 5 over 4 would be the only thing that I could possibly move on. And Al says, looks like a possibility of 10 to 15 mile winds blowing in around game time. Yeah, because I have it's sideways, but sideways in. And that's Andre L. Excuse me, I said Aunt L. Sorry, Andre. Thank you. Aunt L is a baseball handicapper that we worked with last year. Andre L. Looks like possibly 10 to 15 wins blowing around game time. I'm going to leave the 4 question marks there. We do not have time to sit here and hum and haw. That's your 2:20 afternoon spot. Dommy Gun giving the over-under stats for the Cubs and Pirates. So Cubs are 50-50. Pirates are leaning towards the under. Let's move on to night action, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. And I don't want to spend too much time on this game. I expect this Red Sox game to be rained out. And it's too bad. Because it certainly felt like a spot where we could fade Matt Harvey. But we will not get the opportunity to do that, I believe. Let's just see if RotoWire thinks this game's going to be rained out. 69% chance of rain. So I guess it's going down a little bit. It was much higher last night. Much higher last night. So there's Tom and Tom Racing. Great to see you, Tommy. There's DX Filer, whom we haven't seen enough of lately. So, look, I don't want to spend much time on it. I do not expect this. And I'll reach out to Ant. Maybe we get Ant back in action. But I don't want to spend too much time on it. 57 Fahrenheit, rain, 9 miles per hour to right. It's Eduardo Rodriguez coming off a rough start at Texas. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. The Orioles aren't really a get-right spot for a lefty because they have a high average against lefties, 270, but just 733 OPS. Red Sox are hitting righties, but those numbers are going down, 264, 784 OPS. I think Matt Harvey is vulnerable, and I think we can get a nice number fading him moving forward because he's had a pretty good start to the year. We know that he was available for nothing for the last few years, 4.06 ERA, 1.29 whip. He's looked good. And he looked pretty good in his last start. 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 K, and 84 win at Oakland. There's Jason Albert ready to get to work. So, Orioles bullpen being very good, 3.35 ERA, 1.20 whip. I would love to fade Harvey here. I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to do it. I also don't want to take Rodriguez over Harvey if rain's going to interrupt this. And then we move into the Orioles bullpen. That's been very good. And this Red Sox bullpen's getting worse and worse by the day. So, with all that being said, I'm not moving on Red Sox Orioles. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. We have Washington Nationals at New York Yankees. That is next up on the docket for us. And the boys are hammering Ascot as we speak. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Joey Harp says Boston game should be delayed for an hour after is clear. Let me just see what I've got here very quickly, if anything has changed on that weather here from Joey. I have an 80% chance of rain. The highest is at 9 p.m. tonight in Baltimore. So, we'll see. Dommy Gun says not sure if it's rained out today. Chris Bryant playing center field, says CT Bays. Chris Bryant playing center field. Wow. That's wild. Okay, let's move on to this Yankees game now. Nationals, Yankees, Yankee Stadium, New York. Nationals come in 12-15 forward, 7 on the road. Yankees are 16-15, 9-8 at home. We're at Yankee Stadium, 56 Fahrenheit, overcast, 11 miles per hour, sideways in. We have Patrick Corbin on the bump. Corbin going up against Jameson Taillon. Corbin 1-3, 8.10 ERA, 1.76 whip, 23 1/3, 27 hits, 18 Ks, 14 walks, 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 4 walks, 4 Ks, and a 7-2 win at Miami. Taillon 1-2, 5.24 ERA, 1.25 whip, 22 1/3, 23 hits, 29 Ks, 5 walks, 5 homers. In his last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 8 Ks, and a 6-4 win at home versus the Tigers. He doesn't look great right now. He just doesn't look great right now. Brian Watson, yes, I doubled up on the Cardinals. I've only made 3 bets in MLB so far. First 5 -0.5, full game -1.5. Viper says the total's gone under in 6 of the Yankees' last 7 games when playing at home against Washington. Brian Watson, I'd be hesitant to take the over in the Red Sox game if it does become a bullpen game because of rain, because the Orioles bullpen's been really good. And the Red Sox are going to put in the righty as soon as they can because the Orioles hit lefty so much harder than righty. So much love to you, Fat Wally, our guy Fat Wally. Miss you, man. Can't wait to cap the Preakness with you all day a week from tomorrow. K-Prop TJ also on the Cardinals. Joe Yurkovich, last 50 days, New York OPS 798, number one in the league. And that number's already moved up, Brian. Look, if it was regular weather, I would have been on that over with you as well. And Paul Thompson giving us winners at Ascot as we break down the horses. I love it. All right, Nationals versus righties, 234, 651 OPS. And no sign of Soto in yesterday's game when I thought he was going to return. There's razor sharp picks in the house. Yankees versus lefties, 266, 793 OPS. Yankees bullpen, 2.59 ERA, 0.98 whip, have converted 9 of 10 save opportunities. Nationals bullpen, 3.51 ERA. They've been good too, 1.10 whip. They've converted 3 of 4 save opportunities. When we go to full game, and with the Yankees, you want full game. You want their bullpen involved. This total has gone from 9.5 all the way down to 8.5. And Tyon and the Yanks have gone from minus 180 to minus 167. Do we have any word on Juan Soto? Viper MB says can't trust either pitcher pass for me. Do we have any word on Juan Soto? Can we get any information on Juan Soto? Let me see if I can get one right now. Dom Reach says Corbin seems to improve a little each start. Yes, I expect Corbin to turn it around this year, and I thought we got a little glimpse of that in that last start at Miami. And Miami hits lefties well. So let's see if we can get a little taste of this. There's Sue's 387 says Soto pinch hit. That's all. Okay. Sue's 387 joining us from Hawaii. Thank you. And Roto has him expected in. Yes, I expect Corbin to improve. David Sharp saying he's pinch hit in the last 2 games after being brought up from the IL. I have interest in the Yankees. I think Corbin is in a tough spot. But Corbin is improving, and I want to see what kind of number I get. And I want to see if Soto's in the lineup. And I imagine if Soto is in the lineup, that I'll get a better number. I expect money to continue to come in on the Nationals and Corbin. At least the Sharps will. CT Bay says Soto will have the ability to DH in an AL ballpark, so jump on Washington now if you like him. Absolutely sharp point, CT Bays. Absolutely good point. Soto will definitely be in the lineup as a DH. Of course. Such a sharp point from CT Bays. K-Prop says, I want the Yanks too, but how do you bet it? Well, you wait. Wait for the lineups to be announced. Wait for everybody to see Soto DHing. I think that's how you do it. We got Tom and Tom Racing giving us a Pimlico pick 5. A Pimlico pick 5. Johnny K's on the Nats. Okay, so this is a wait for me. I want to see what the Yankees end up at. And the Nats bullpen's been pretty strong. Let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. I should have waited on this. I'm already on the Diamondbacks, and I got a half second better, or half of 5 cent better line if I had have waited. Sue's 387 says, give us that gooch pick. Citi Field, New York. I really like the Diamondbacks against lefties. And I know that Peterson's a good pitcher, but the Diamondbacks just eat off lefties. And Joe Yes says there's always a Yankees tax. There is. But I think when people see Soto in the lineup, we might be able to counteract that. I can now get plus money on this Diamondbacks first 5. If you're looking for a gooch pick from me, I would say it's the Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 at plus money right now. Zach Gallen, 1-1, 3.48 ERA, 1.16 whip, 20 2/3, 27 Ks, 10 walks, 1 home run. In his last start, he struggled. 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 14-6 loss at home versus the Rockies. David Peterson, 1-3. 4.81 ERA, 1.23 whip, 24 1/3, 29 Ks, 8 walks, 5 home runs allowed. And his last start was good. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 solo shot, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and 8-7 win at Philly. The Diamondbacks first lefties, 258, 858 OPS. Mets first righties, 239, 675 OPS. Diamondbacks bullpen, 5.17 ERA, 1.46 whip. They've converted 4 of 11 save opportunities. Mets bullpen, 3.45 ERA, 1.23 whip. They've converted 5 of 7 save opportunities. Let's go to batter versus pitcher here. See if we can get some help. Oh, by the way, the Yankees hit Corbin hard. 317, 1.027 OPS, and Tylon has pretty good numbers. 244, 714 against the Nats. Zach Gallen they're hitting 148 with a 591 OPS. 148 with a 591 OPS. I think that the Diamondbacks at plus money is a really nice spot. And I'm already on it. And I wish I had waited. Could have got something better. Kevin Riley's primetime NL lock top play, Arizona plus 116. I don't want to double up, but I get it. And there's Boston Nick in the house, a.k.a. Mr. Fat Fist. So Arizona Diamondbacks, first 5. I don't trust the Diamondbacks bullpen. I'd much prefer them first 5. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Pace is okay right now. I need to speed it up a little bit. Cincinnati Reds at Cleveland Indians. Cincinnati Reds at Cleveland Indians. Miley versus Plesac. This first 5 totals gone from 4.5 down to 4. Let's go over the full game here. And we have this full game total going from 8.5 down to 8, and money coming in on Cleveland fast and furious. An 11-cent move at Pinnacle. Bigger moves at other books, 129 to 140. Mitch Fearing, I thought I gave them out here. No, I didn't, because he's only faced Asdrubal Cabrera, and Cabrera's 0 for 2 against him. Thank you. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Diesel says he's going to miss watching Albert Pujols run the bases like a gazelle. Pujols will get picked up by somebody. Somebody needs a DH. No, Mitch, ask anytime, my man. Ask anytime. I've got that all handy at all times, so don't worry about that. All right, Wade Miley versus Zach Plesac. Miley, 3-2, 2.67 ERA, 0.96 whip, 27 innings, 19 K, 7 walks, 3 home runs. He's looked good. He went up against the Cubs at Cincy, and they can hit lefties pretty hard, and he had a pretty nice start. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walk, 3 Ks, and 8-6 win at home versus the Cubs. Let's stop everything quickly. We have the freshest look in the house. Dutchie coming off another winner last night with the freshest look on Kyrie Irving over 25.5 points. He's on the Joker over 25.5 points. Joey Harp says Pujols will go to the KBO. Dutch boy fresh over 25.5 points for Jokic in a big, big game for the Nuggets here. Exciting. All right. Joe Yervis says Arizona got outscored 20-4 against Miami and got swept. Nice after a sweep just to get on the road, go to a new city. K-Prop says couldn't bet Cincinnati first 5 fast enough at plus 140. Come on. Let's talk about Plesac. 2-3, 4.78 ERA. 1.19 whip, 32 innings, 24 Ks, 7 walks, 4 home runs. His last start was strong. It was at the White Sox. Now, the White Sox don't hit righties as hard as they hit lefties. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks. Reds versus righties, 224, 691 OPS. Indians versus lefties, 207, 677 OPS. Reds bullpen is trash, 5.59 ERA, 1.41 whip, converted 5 of 12 save opportunities, while the Indians bullpen is at 2.54 ERA, 1.11 whip, and they've converted 10 of 12 save opportunities. All right. Viper saying the total's gone over in 10 of Cincy's last 15 games. Thank you, Bama boy, my guy. All right. So let's go to pitcher versus batter in this matchup against Wade Miley. 57 at-bats for these Cleveland Indians, and they're hitting 281 with a 731 OPS. But with this team, you go right to Jose Ramirez. He's the straw that stirs the drink. He's 2 for 10 with a homer. 2 for 10 with a homer against him. Then you go to Plesac. Plesac, they're 207, but with a 1.017 OPS. 29 at-bats, they've hit 5 home runs. They're 6 for 29 with 5 home runs. John Garcia, I am taking Concert Tour to win the Preakness at this point. So that is my plan. Will be Concert Tour for the payday. But I still have more work to do. Dommy Gun saying Mets are the best first 5 under team in MLB. Look, this makes sense to me. Now, Miley is a very tough bet for me. But this makes sense. Plezak's not firing on all cylinders right now. And you're getting a big plus line. Spencer, penny bombs is on Hosier. Yeah, I need to study it more. Interesting. And the Reds' first 5 against an Indians team that doesn't have lefties will allow us, if we wanted, if it stays, let's just see what it does with the plus 5 very quickly here. So right now, if we want the Reds' first 5, the Reds' first 5, we get them at plus 135. If we want the visiting Reds' first 5 plus a half, it's minus 120. So we're never going to turn a favorite into a dog. Excuse me. We're never going to turn a dog into a favorite. That's going to be one of our rules all year long. We will never turn a plus money situation into a minus money situation ever. Dutch Boy Fresh also on the Wolves plus 6. Thank you for stopping by, Dutchy, our guy, and good luck today. Paul Thompson continues to give us glory here over at Ascot. Okay, so I get Reds first 5. I need to study it more. It wasn't something I was leaning towards until I heard the chat on it, and it makes sense to me. And I also thought that the Reds were better against righties than I've got them down for, and I want to see, did I make some sort of a mistake this morning? Did I make some sort of a mistake this morning? Let me just make sure that here. Come on. Okay, let's just quickly go to select split. Let's go versus righties. Why do I think that this team hits harder versus righties than I've given them credit for here? Yeah, they're number 1 in the league versus righties. Why did I say that they were hitting 224, 691 OPS? That was a mistake. It didn't sound right when I said it. They're hitting 256 with a 794 OPS. And I did sleep last night. Those of you who know that I have insomnia issues, something very interesting. As soon as I came over to Pub Sports Radio, I have had none. It's amazing what it feels like when you're surrounded by friends and support. You sleep. So that was a mistake. Yeah, and David Chubb says Reds number 1 OPS versus righties. Yeah, that all makes sense to me. I'm going to jump in with you guys on the Reds first 5 at this big plus money price. I'm taking the question mark off of it. All right, let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers at Miami Marlins. That is next up. While I have it up right now, we have Brent Suter as an opener for the Brew Crew. They've had 27 at-bats against them. They're 8 for 27, so they hit him pretty hard. 296, 1.033 OPS. Trevor Rogers, they're 6 for 14 against Trevor Rogers. Interesting that the Brew Crew are able to get to Trevor Rogers so easy in a small sample size. Brew Crew, Marlins, Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 10 miles per hour, sideways in. Suter, 2-1, 2.70 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 15 Ks, 4 walks, 2 home runs. In his last appearance, 1 inning, 1 K in the 5-4 loss. Didn't allow any hits or earned runs. Trevor Rogers, 3-2, 1.91 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 33 innings, 44 Ks, 13 walks, 2 home runs. In his last start, it was against Washington. We know they hit lefties hard, but it was against the Washington lineup that didn't have Soto in it. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Brewers are hitting lefties hard, 251, 793 OPS. Marlins are hitting lefties hard, 247, 756 OPS. Marlins bullpen just keeps getting better and better and better. And this Brewers bullpen, 4.08 ERA, 1.37 WHIP is improving. Joe Yurkovich says Reds on the road, second to last OPS. Interesting. And Dommy Gun saying Cleveland off a sweep also could be a letdown spot. All right, let's go back over to this spot here, Marlins Brew Crew. Now, we're dealing with the watered-down Brewers lineup. But the fact that this is at 3, this first 5 could go all the way down to 3 is wild to me. A 3? Wild. With how well these two teams hit lefties, I have been cashing these over 3s all year long with offense down. A 3, you telling me it's going to be 1-1 or 2-0 after 5 innings? Let's see what the juice is being held at my book. First 5 here. Minus 130. I mean, it's juicy. Come on. A fucking 3? No. This Brewers bullpen's not that good. All right, first 5 over 3. I will eat the juice here. Tell me there's going to be 2 runs in the first 5. Come on. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Minnesota Twins at Detroit Tigers. Twins are 11-19, 5-8 on the road. What a terrible start to the year they've had. Tigers are 9-23, 4-9 at home. I mean, we expect them to be shitty. And Brian Watson says, Taint play soon. Yes, maybe I should just because we have not seen Matty Ice, and we can't. These guys have lives, but let me see if we got any. If I was sent some information from our Matty Ice, let me just quickly. I can't go through a show without talking about Matty Ice. We can't go through a show without seeing. We do have Taint play. Taint has been sent to me. I repeat, Taint has been sent to me. And thank you for mentioning that, Brian Watson, because Taint is right now. Twins full game run line at plus money. I repeat, Twins full game run line at plus money. The Twinkies and Shoemaker minus 1.5 is a plus 110 market wide. All right. We've got Taint. Taint coming off a losing day, but still 16-9 on the year. 16-9. Very, very strong. Brian Watson says, over in Minnesota game, Detroit bullpen's got to be taxed. Let's talk about this spot here right now, knowing that it is Taint. And I like Matty Shoemaker and Scooball's being atrocious, but we remember Scooball had spectacular numbers a couple years ago in the minors when he first came up with these Tigers. Minnesota opening up at 138 at Pinnacle. They're now at minus 140, a 2-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 9 at minus 116, so it's now at minus 115, a 1-cent move to the over. We're at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan, 52 Fahrenheit, light rain, 9 miles per hour out to center field. Shoemaker 1-3, 7.83 ERA, 1.57 whip, 23 innings, 14 Ks, 8 walks, 7 home runs allowed in 23 innings. His last start was bad, and a lot of these pitchers have been going good start, bad start, good start, bad start. And Sharp says he wishes Taint the best, as he should, but says 9 runs in 3 innings last time out. Yikes. Tariq Scooball, and that's right, 8 earned runs last out. I believe it was 9 runs, but 8 earned. 3 1/3, 8 earned runs, 2 home runs, 2 walks, 0 Ks, 11-3 loss. CT Bay says Shoemaker is a bum. DX Filer says, I like Minnesota, but money line only. Don't want to get cute. Their bullpen isn't great either. Their bullpen is awful. Sammy, great to see you, my guy. Tony K says, over. Let's talk about Tariq a little bit. 0-4, 6.14 ERA, 1.68 whip, 22 innings, 18 Ks, 14 walks, 8 home runs allowed in 22 innings. Last start, he went 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 home runs allowed, 2 walks, 1 K in a loss at New York, at the Yankees. He couldn't handle the pressure. This is an easier spot. Twins versus lefties, 251, 722 OPS. Tigers versus righties, 215, 651 OPS. Twins bullpen, 4.53 ERA, and they've been unlucky. Their BABIP has been unlucky. I expect their bullpen to improve. 1.31 whip. They've converted 5 of 12. Tigers bullpen's been terrible. 6.69 ERA, 1.72 whip. They've converted 6 of 11. Joe Yurkovich says, Mini, just 2 more wins than the lowly Tigers. Turnsy looking for a little Madden 21 action. God, that wouldn't be so nice to sit back, smoke one, play a little Madden. I can't do that. Good in the house. Great to see you. Good, ready to get paid on a Friday. So with everything being said, Taint is the Twins minus 1.5 at plus money. And Tommy Gunn. I think that Jose challenging Turnsy in Madden. God. Twinkies minus 1.5. An extremely interesting look for Taint. Those of you wondering if they would prefer to take it on the minus 1 line, I don't even have my minus 1 calculator up. But minus 140 and a plus 110 would what? Be around a minus 118? All right. So we have Taint play of the day in. Look, I tell you what, Taint off a loss, very high number. And I can get the minus 1 line, and I may do that. DX5 said, I don't understand the run line. To be honest, the money line's reasonable enough. I do understand because our Matt Randall, he does not want to give out heavily juiced Taint picks. And I applaud that. I respect that. And I totally understand what you're saying, DX Filer. But Matt Randall doesn't want to be sitting here giving out minus 140s on his Taint play of the day. So people will say, well, yeah, I mean, your Taint play of the day is 16-9, but how many minus 140s have you given out? All right. Taint is the Twins. And I must travel with Taint. I must. So, one final time, Taint is in. Twins on the run line at plus 110. I feel you, DX. I feel you. Let's move on. Twinkie Taint, says Jason Folk. We move on to Philadelphia Phillies at Atlanta Braves, 7:20 p.m. Eastern. Phillies are 17-15, 4-9 on the road. Braves are 15-16, 7-7 at home. A lot of talk in the chat about that over in the Twins-Tigers game. Did I go to baseball data? I guess I got so caught up in Mia. They're hitting 121 with a 374 OPS against Shoemaker. The Tigers. They're 7 for 58. Whew. Against Scooball, they're hitting 200 with a 750 OPS. Wow. Chance for a little bit of confidence. Wow. Very shocking numbers against the opposition there. Okay, 7:20 p.m. Phillies, Braves, 66 Fahrenheit, clear, 10 miles per hour to left center. We have Zach Eflin versus Charlie Morton. And our David Sharp put out the Phillies team total over 3.5 last night. This total, though, has gone from 8.5 down to 7.5. Morton has gone from minus 150, hasn't moved. Still at minus 150. And it's sold out in Atlanta tonight. There's Paco Healy, whom we've missed dearly. Paco Healy coming to us from San Diego. I hope you get a chance to hang out with David Sharp and all our San Diego Cappers. All right. Eflin 101, 3.49 ERA, 1.16 whip, 38 2/3, 43 hits, 34 Ks, 2 walks, and 3 home runs. Last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 10 hits, but 2 earned runs, no long balls, 0 walks, 7 Ks, and 8-7 loss at home versus the Mets. Charlie Morton, 2-1, 5.08 ERA, 1.22 whip, 33 2/3, 39 Ks, 12 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 1/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 6-5 extra inning loss at Toronto. David Sharp says, why is the total moving to the under? Winds blowing out 10 miles per hour. Both pitchers get ranked versus opposing batters, and it's warm outside. Phillies team total 3.5 and over 8 now is 7.5. Northander says, so jealous of America. Yeah, man, I miss America so badly. I can't believe the plan coming back to Canada was that we could go down to America all the time, and I haven't been able to cross the border. K-Prop says, I'm just as confused as you. Phillies versus righties, 220, 652 OPS. Braves versus righties, 245, 777 OPS. Phillies bullpen, 4.98 ERA, 1.38 whip. They've converted 10 of 16 save opportunities. They have not been good. Braves bullpen, 4.58 ERA, 1.48 whip. They've converted 8 of 12 save opportunities. Let's go over to batter versus pitcher here. Batter versus pitcher. We have Eflin. They're hitting 242 with a 761 OPS against Eflin. Acuna is 5 for 18 with a double and a homer. Dansby Swanson 8 for 15 with 5 doubles and a homer. They get to Eflin. Against Morton, 290 but with 712 OPS. So they're 27 for 93. But of those 27 hits, just 4 are for extra bases. Oh, man. Good says, don't miss it. Good respect. Good. CT bases, I believe these two matched up in April. Austin Hill says, any chance he would move to America? Yes. I hope to be living in Vegas soon. And I don't care if gambling becomes legal all across North America. My parents met in Vegas. I need to make the circle just, man. Bob Taylor says, I like the K-prop for Morton over 6.5, kind of juicy. David Sharp says, batter versus pitcher stats say runs should come. Too bad bullpens. Very, very, very strange. Sold out Braves Stadium, and we have an 8.5 down to 7.5, and we have 2 bullpens that have been bad. Wild that this has gone to the over. Great to see Ramon Scott in the chat. Tommy Gunn says, I got a spot for you right here on my block. Well, you are close to Belmont. And you are close to Nassau. All right. I have to stay off this. There's just too much going on with this huge market belief that this game's going to go under when the stats sort of say over. Northander says too many variables. I am going to have to stay off this Phillies Braves spot. Clearly, they're expecting a bounce back from Morton. Birdie is on the 1 Chester race 7 on the 1 horse. Wild. Okay, let's move on to Mariners Rangers. Seattle Mariners 17 and 15, 8 and 7 on the road. Texas Rangers 16 and 17, 7 and 9 at home. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. I don't know. I expect the roof to be closed, but I don't have that information. If not, it's 83 Fahrenheit clear, 13 miles per hour to left. There's a few of these stadiums that are not giving us the information these days, and it's pretty irritating. We got Chris Flexen, the certs without the Retson, 2-1, 3.33 ERA, 1.33 whip, 27 innings, 30 hits, 21 Ks, 6 walks, and 2 home runs allowed. Last start, he went 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 0 Ks, and a 7-4 win at home to the Angels, and I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Mike Fultonavich, 1-3, 4.32 ERA, 1.29 whip, 33 and a third, 35 hits, 31 Ks, 8 walks, 9 home runs allowed by Fulte. Paco Healy says Flexen has been okay. And Fulte's last start was a win at home against the Rangers. Now it helps to pitch at home. K-Prop says Flexen getting hit hard and getting very, very lucky. Don't buy the ERA whip. Major regression coming. That's what I was saying, intimating. And Joe Yerger says roof could be open. It's nice weather. I just need this information. It's driving me absolutely crazy. I mean, we'd be all over the over if this roof was open. But how can – I mean, you have to hesitate with the roof closed. And this total's gone from 9 down to 8.5. And the Mariners open as favorites, and now the Rangers are legitimate favorites. Jared Schrader is on Rangers' first 5, trying to stay away from a bullpen battle. Although the Rangers' bullpens had unlucky BABIP, and they are not as bad as their 3.97 ERA indicates. A better look is that 1.24 Whip, they've converted 10 of 14. Rangers are hitting 235, 710 OPS versus righties. The Mariners aren't hitting righties hard at all. 208, 643 OPS. And DX Father says Flexen is a bum due for regression. I follow him close, but not buying the bet. Rangers as a fave. And Kevin Riley is on the Rangers. And you have to trust Fulton Avich, which is I'd be hesitant to do as well. Joe Yerford says Rangers got to be feeling good. Offense is picked up. I'm glad they didn't have the day off. Well, I will take the over if the roof is open, which means I got to be figuring that out all day. And then I think the Rangers are the play here. And Jason Folk saying Texas first 5 to stay away from that Mariners bullpen, and that also makes sense to me. Okay. Let's move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Chicago White Sox. Oh, wait, I didn't do baseball data here. Against Flexen, only 3 at-bats against them. Gallows 1 for 2 with a homer. And Fulton Avich, they haven't seen much of them. They're 5 for 17. So those 5 hits, one of them is a double. All right, let's move on to White Sox Royals. While I have it up in front of me, the Royals are hitting 293 with a 769 OPS versus Carlos Rodon. 1 home run in those 75 at-bats. And against Brad Keller, the White Sox are hitting 275 with a 785 OPS, so sort of a wash there. Turnsy, I did not end up betting the Pistons. And I can't tell you why. I was waiting to find out when Corey Joseph was announced in. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. I don't know what was wrong with me. I had some shit I had to deal with yesterday. I had to deal with my car, and I guess that is my excuse, but I should have put money in my goddamn pocket. All right. Keller, 2-3, 8.06 ERA, 2.15 whip, 22 and a third, 36 hits, 16 Ks, 12 walks, 4 home runs allowed. In his last start, he went 4 and a third, allowed 6 hits, 2 home runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and a 13-4 loss at Minnesota. Rodon, 4-0, 0.72 ERA, 0.64 whip. He's been spectacular this year. In 25 innings, he's allowed 7 hits. And Tommy Gunn saying he'll never back Fulte. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 0 home runs, 1 walk, 12 Ks, and a 3-1 7-inning win at home versus the Tigers. CT Bay says Royals lost 5 in a row, and 4 of them by at least 2 runs. White Sox 16-13, 7-7 on the road. Fernando Encina says buy a new car when you move to Vegas. Yeah, I promise you that. Promise you that, Fernando. All right, White Sox versus righties, 244, 702 OPS. Royals versus lefties, 238, 674 OPS. White Sox bullpen, 4.18 ERA and is improving day by day. This Royals bullpen is a mess, 5.17 ERA, 1.43 whip, 9 of 14. Okay, let's take a look at the market here. White Sox, Royals. White Sox open up at minus 152. It's where they are right now. There's total opened up at 8.5, juiced to the over. And it's now juiced to the under. So idea that there will be a pitching battle here. And that wouldn't shock me. Kevin Riley taking the White Sox. Viper MB says total's gone over in 7 of Kansas City's last 8 games. I wouldn't be shocked if these pitchers pitch well here. Rodon, Paco wondering why it's 8.5, juice to the under. Rodon's been an absolute monster, so I don't think that you could take the batter versus pitcher numbers as truth necessarily because he's been so much stronger this year than he ever has before. And Brad Keller is capable of stepping up in a home situation. Respect MMA locker room, what up? David Sharp says Keller gave up 6 runs in 3 innings versus Sox 4 weeks ago. And he did not look great at Minnesota. And North Enders dropped it all the way down to 8. Keller's been questionable, man. But it's at home when we used to be able to trust him. It feels like a White Sox first 5 spot. I'm going to take, and then if you're going to take White Sox first 5, why don't you take them full game too? You have a Royals bullpen that's weak. Tom Ricci says Rodon's pitched well, but against no one. I bet this 8 over first inning. Wow. Yeah, I think I don't know if I want to double up here, but Rodon's an ace. 7 hits he's allowed in 25 innings so far this year. We got a pick 3 from Dennis Garcia at Churchill Downs. A pick 3. It is good. It's especially good, Ski, if the horse has trained poorly and maybe he's bucked a rider. It's especially good if he's being wildly out of control. Then he gets gelded, and then that's the best sign. So if you can ever find a horse that's bucked a rider and trained poorly, and then he gets gelded, that's when you really want to take it as a positive. DC's one of the Taints cats. I would call him. Not the New Orleans Taints. I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to decide if it's a first 5 or a full game. First 5 or a full game. It's definitely going to be a first 5. I guess what I'm saying is I got to decide if I'm in a double up spot. All right, we move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays at Houston Astros. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Blue Jays are 16-14, 9-10 on the road. The Astros are 16-15, 7-7 at home. Again, a question about the roof. 82 Fahrenheit clear, 11 miles per hour out to center. I don't know. I don't know if you guys know what's going on with the roof there. Ross Stripling going up against Jose Urquidy. Stripling 0-1, 6.39 ERA, 1.74 WHIP, 12 2/3, 18 hit, 14 Ks, 4 walks, 2 home runs. I don't trust him. Last start, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 1 walk, 4 Ks, a 7-2 win at home versus the Braves. It was a pretty good performance against the Braves team that can hit righties hard. Jose Urquidy, 2-2, 3.71 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 34 innings, 31 hits, 27 Ks, 8 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, a 3-1 win at the Rays. That's a Rays team that's playing well right now. Jays are hitting 247.09 OPS versus righties. Astros are hitting 244.728 OPS versus righties. You have to wonder. I know that we're capping each game as an individual entity. And I'm trying so hard not to talk about whether this is a letdown spot for the Astros after winning yesterday at Yankee Stadium. Blue Jays bullpen 2.40 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, converted 7 of 8. Astros bullpen 4.17 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, converted 7 of 11. I don't want Stripling. I don't want Stripling under any situation, but these Jays bats, even without Springer, are fire. They're just rolling, and they're all rolling. With Springer in the lineup, you have 6 guys that could hit 30-plus home runs. You have 6 guys that will hit 20-plus home runs. But I do not trust Stripling at all, and there's been a huge market move towards the Astros, and I wonder if that is a bias after what they just saw. With all that being said, I'm going to stay off this spot, but I don't know why I am, in all honesty. I think because the Jays bats are so hot, and it's a letdown spot, and I want to stay away from Stripling, so I can't back Urquidy. That's why. Jays feel real good about themselves right now. Okay, I'm off of Jays, Astros. Brian Wilson says, what's with Springer? He's out for at least 10 days is the word here in Toronto, for at least 10 days, and he probably shouldn't have returned when he did. Okay, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, we have the Rockies, 12-19, 2-11 on the road at the Cardinals. I've already doubled up on the Cardinals. I got them first 5 minus I had planned to bet the -1, but I did end up eating the -140 juice. First 5 minus a half and full game -1. And North Ender says got an MRI in his quads, 10 days. David Sharp says the Jays on the road are a bet against. Got to pick your spots until they prove they can win regularly away from Florida. I thought they looked very good against the tired A's team. But I hear you. So let's talk about this spot. It's Austin Gomber, 2-3, 5.90 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Oh, we didn't go to the batter versus pitcher with Urquidy and Stripling, but it's minimal. 9 at bats against Stripling, 4 at bats against Urquidy. Only Nolan Arenado's seen Gomber, but I think Gomber's in for it today. And then against Flaherty, the Rockies are 4 for 24 against them with just a double to their name. I moved confidently on the Cardinals. It was minus 200 when I got to it. It's now 225 at my book. I think Gomber is in a dangerous situation against this team. Johnny K says kind of like Colorado. It's 69 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour out to right. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Gomber 2-3, 5.90 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, 29 innings, 22 hits, 27 Ks, 20 walks, 3 home runs allowed. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 14-6 win at Arizona. Arizona hits lefties hard, so that was a pretty good performance by Gomber. Flaherty, though, 5-0, 3.41 ERA, 1.02 WHIP, has looked very strong this year. Not, incredible, but strong. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 0 home runs allowed, 2 walks, 9 Ks, and a 12-5 win at Pittsburgh. Cardinals are hitting .287 with an .840 OPS versus lefties. And their bullpen, 3.87 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, is a run and a half less over 9 than Gomber. K-Prop says Gomber under K's St. Louis run line. CT Base says Flaherty 5-0 are the Cards when he pitches. And yeah, man. Paul Thompson, sadly, we are not doing a show on USA Racing today. I wish we were. Our next show will be Wednesday night with Razor Sharp Picks, Thursday night with Razor Sharp Picks, and then Saturday for the Preakness with me. So I doubled up here. Confidently. Let's move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. We have Dodgers. 3 more games left. Okay, we're moving nice. K-Prop says Flaherty's a different pitcher at home too, without a doubt. Okay, we move on to the next spot, 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Dodgers, Angels in Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. Dodgers are 17-15, 9-10 on the road. Angels are 13-17, 6-8 at home. 67 Fahrenheit, clear, 9 miles per hour out to center. We have Julio Urias, 4-0, 2.87 ERA, 0.90 WHIP, 37 and 2/3, 28 hits, 42 Ks, 6 walks, 4 home runs allowed. Last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walk, and 10 Ks in a 16-4 win at Milwaukee. Griffin Canning, 2-2, 6.20 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 26 Ks, 7 walks, but he's allowed 6 homers. 6. And Dennis Garcia says, for those of you on the Razor show yesterday, Dennis Garcia gave it a 28-1 and 17-1 in the at EVD in the chat. Attaboy, Denny. Love hearing that. So Griffin's last start was his best start of the year. He allowed 0 earned runs and 5 1/3 in a 10-5 win at Seattle. David Sharp's on Dodgers first 5 -0.5. Angels don't hit lefty pitching, period. Dodgers are struggling, so we get the -110. Dodgers smash righties. Don't overthink it. Dodgers versus righties are now 247, 784 OPS. That number's been dropping. Angels versus lefties, 232, 698 OPS. And they're beat up right now, this Angels squad. Dodgers bullpen 3.69 ERA. Angels bullpen 5.05 ERA has been terrible. Let's take a look at the odds for us here. Wow. Dodgers open up at -160. Now they're -156. Interesting. 4-cent move over towards the Angels. Canning pitching better. DX Filer has Dodgers first 5 -0.5 for 2 units. Team total over 4.5. And look at that, -150 money line, 5 units. This is what could go wrong. Wow. Why are the Dodgers not bigger favorites? Why are the Dodgers not bigger favorites? Let's go to baseball data. Against Urias, they're 4 for 8 against them. 8 at-bats. The sample size is tiny. And who is Juan Lagares, David Fletcher, and Kurt Suzuki you got to worry about? Against Canning, they're 3 for 11 with 2 doubles. Joe Yerrick says, I want the bullpen advantage with the Dodgers somehow. Yeah, it feels like it would have to be a -1 spot, but you're not going to get a lot of money taken off with that. Let's just see what I would get here. No, you get enough. CT Base says Angels don't hit with Rodon and Upton. 5'9" hitters are awful. David Sharp says because they haven't been winning, got to get on the Dodgers now before they're -200 again. It does feel like a Dodgers spot, doesn't it? Angels did not look good. Brian Watson says Dodgers bullpen brutal. I mean, 3.69 ERA, but their whip's been bad. And they've only converted 9 of 21 save opportunities. So, yeah, it's been bad. CT Base says can't bet on the Dodgers right now or the Angels. Very, very interesting. And then what do we focus on? Would we prefer to focus? Because I don't know if I want to double up here. David Sharp's on Dodgers first 5 -1/2 and full game -1.5. North Ender says 2 teams trending in the same direction down. Birdie wondering if the cutting of pools affect the chemistry for LA for a few weeks. It could easily. It really could. I mean, I understand it you need to have a DH available, but that's just bad management. Joe Yurkovich going to pass. I'm going to need more time to think about these Dodgers. It's a pretty fishy line here. Jason Folks says Urias against even a light would be a fade. A lukewarm lineup. Angels bats still pass. Wow. All right, I that's going to need more time. David Trump says if it's one bet, I'd go -1.5. I don't need to go -1.5. I can make a -1 line at a decent price. Brady says might be a gift on the Dodgers today. Books don't give out gifts, but it does feel like it. Okay, we got to go. We got tons of games still to come. Let's move on to Rays Athletics, Oakland Coliseum, Oakland, California. This Oakland team's in the midst of 25 games in 26 days, and they certainly look tired against the Jays over the last few days. The Rays are 18-15, 11-5 on the road. A's 19-14, 11-10 at home. 60 Fahrenheit, clear, 10 miles per hour to straightaway center at the Coliseum. Rich Hill going up against Sean Manaea. Hill has not looked good, and they were very hesitant with him in his last start. He went 3 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Rich Hill is 6.39 ERA, 23 hits he's allowed in 25 in the third, 28 Ks, 8 walks, 5 home runs. Manaea, 3-1, 3.48 ERA, 1.22 whip, 34 hits, 33 and 2/3, 33 Ks, 7 walks, 4 homers. Last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 0 walk, 5 Ks, and a 7-5 win at home versus the Orioles. Rays versus righties, 224, 691 OPS. A's versus lefties, 239, 767 OPS. Rays bullpen, 4.14 ERA, 1.32 whip. Rays bullpen, 4.10 ERA, 1.25 whip. And North Anderson's Rays are 6-0 last 6 games as a road underdog. Let's take a look at this a little closer. Manaea and the A's opened up at -138. They're down to -125, a 13-cent move over towards the Rays. I get it. I absolutely get it. The A's just look so tired. CT Bases, Rays, and Oakland have both gone over 4 of their last 5. Why don't we go to pitcher versus batter here? Against Manaea, they're hitting 229 with a 614 OPS, so they don't hit him. 1 home run and 35 at-bats. They're 8 for 35 with just 1 extra base hit. Against Rich Hill, 118 with a 550 OPS. Interesting. Sharpies on the A's first 5 money line. Rays don't hit lefties. That wasn't something that – I mean, they hit lefties pretty well last year. He said made Quintana and Heaney look like gods. Yeah, it was a late score for the Rays. Wow, that's throwing me for a bit of a loop here this game. This total's gone from 8 down to 7.5. Huh. That's the tired A squad. And actually, but the A's hit 239, 767 OPS versus lefties, and these lefties have been questionable. But the market is telling us that it's going to be a low-scoring beginning to this game, and that the first 5. This first 5 could hit, couldn't it? With that 4, I wish the 4 was a win and not a push. Wow. All right, I'm going to stay off. But if they were hanging at 4.5, I'd certainly be on the under. David Sharp says the Rays striking out 48% to lefties. Birdie says A's have been scoring some first inning runs. I guess I have a lean to this first 5 under 4, but am I really going to expect 3 runs out of these? No, I'm not. I'm not going to. All right, I'm off. We moved to 9:45 p.m. Eastern, the last game on the MLB card, and then we're going to rock into NBA. San Diego Padres 18-14, 9-4 on the road at San Francisco Giants, 18-13, 10-3 at home. And Puzzler just took the first 5 over 4. Okay. I'm happy I stayed off of it. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. 58 Fahrenheit clear, 14 miles per hour to left center. We have Blake Snell versus Anthony DeSclafani. Snell 1-0, 3.51 ERA, 1.4 at whip, 25 2/3, 23 hits, 37 Ks, 15 walks, 3 home runs. Last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and a 6-2 win at home over the Giants. DeSclafani's look good this year. 2-1, 2.00 ERA, 0.94 whip. 36 innings, 25 hits, 33 Ks, 9 walks, 3 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 6-2 loss at the Padres. Padres are hitting just 237, 682 OPS versus righties, numbers that we certainly did not expect at the beginning of the year. Giants are hitting 241, 756 OPS versus lefties. Paco Healy says, love the Padres today. First 5 minus a half, full game over. First 5 minus a half, first 5 over 3.5, and full game money line. And DC wanting G-Men at plus money. David Sharp says, I think it's a cheap number for the Padres. It's not only good for 5 innings anyways. Interesting. Because my initial feeling was with the way the Padres are hitting righties was that the Giants versus lefties was a nice spot at plus money. The Giants bullpen's so bad, and the Padres bullpen's been really good this year, 2.74 ERA compared to the 4.47 on the Giants. Let's go to batter versus pitcher here against Snell. 302 with a 935 OPS. The Giants get to him. Against DeSclafani, 217 with a 656 OPS. Paco Healy said, I think we see Snell pitching his best game today and get to 7 innings. K-Prop says, Giants a plus money for me. Snell will put them on. And Padres can't hit righties. And Jerry BD Max play San Diego money line. Okay, well, I'll stay off of it then. Because I certainly was interested in the San Francisco Giants. But if Paco is this confident, and same with Jerry BD, simple, easy stay off for me. That's what I'll do. All right, let's review action. Again, 3 bets were made before the show started. Cardinals first 5 minus a half. Cardinals full game minus 1.5. I got minus 140 and minus 105 respectively. And then I also took the D-backs first 5. I got minus 105 when I could have got a plus 100 if I had avoided. And the question is, do I take this first 5 over 4 in the Pirates-Cubs Cahill versus Davies start today? Just so strange that this total, I mean, there's been a 5-cent move to the over in that first 5. And Kevin Riley is on the Giants. And same with CT Bay's Giants plus money. Joey Yurkovich says, don't like San Francisco coming out of Colorado. That's a good point, Joe. We've seen that. And Fap's on no score first inning in that Giants game. I'm very interested in this first 5 over 4, even though the wind's not good. Let's just see what RotoWire has the wind here. And do we trust these lineups? Peterson batting leadoff. 12 miles per hour in is the wind. Oh, man. Okay, I've got to make a decision here. I'm close to moving on the first 5 over 4. Then next stop for me is I'm curious about the Yankees. Curious, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm already on the Diamondbacks. So Cincinnati Reds first 5 at plus money, a big plus money. I think that's a nice spot. I'm going to be on the first 5 over 3 in Brewers Marlins. I'm on the taint. I'm just not sure if I'll take it on the run line or the -1. That's the Twinkies. And then I need to know if this roof is open in Texas, although I don't expect it to be. If the roof is open, I'm going to take the Rangers. And I guess you're right. I guess you just can't trust Fulton Avich. And then I'm going to move on the White Sox. I'm going to back Carlos Rodon. First 5 in full game. Already on the Cardinals, double up. And then the Dodgers, first 5 in full game. God, maybe I should just make that a single bet, but I certainly don't want to leave money on the table when I need it so badly. Canning coming off that good start, but you would think that the Dodgers – I guess the Dodgers are 17-15. They've been losing and losing. Now they get back to L.A. 9-10 on the road are the Dodgers. Maybe this is just a gift for us to take the Dodgers, and it's just this recency bias that's giving us this number. All right, that's my MLB card. Let's move on to NBA. We have a huge NBA card. Huge. DX5 says Tatis hurt. He's in the lineup. Paco Healy says day off and easy travel. Yeah. That scares me. And North Ender says, don't fall victim to FOMO, fear of missing out. That's a good point, North Ender. Okay, let's get into NBA, and I'm coming off a rough day. We are going to start with Pelicans, Sixers. We start with Pelicans, Sixers. Let me move over to NBA here. And DX father says, do it, bet Dodgers. DX, my guy. All right, NBA, let's get to work right now with Pelicans 76ers. Pelicans are 9-point dogs here. This total opened at 227.5. It's dropped to 226.5 at Pinnacle. The other books haven't followed suit. Some books are still at 227.5, and you know that they're going to be all dropping to 226.5 here. Wow, Sharp. That's quite an offer, Sharp. That makes me want to bet the Dodgers, I'll tell you that much. North Ender says, easier to sleep at night leaving money on the table than losing on a game you debated over. I agree. I absolutely agree. And Billy Brisbane, our guy, says, we'll be there in person rooting for my Sixers and it's playoff season here in Philly. Respect. All right. We're Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Past 5, the Pelicans are 3-2. They're second in the league in pace at 107.27 possessions a game. Sixers are 5-0 over the past 5. They have won 6 in a row. But over the past 5, they're 25th in pace at 96.59 possessions a game. Pelicans are coming off their third win in 4 games, 108-103 at home on Tuesday night. Lonzo went off, 7 threes, 33 points. Zion went for 23 and 12. Brandon Ingram will miss the game Friday with a left ankle sprain. Steven Adams played for the first time in 4 games, picked up 8 rebounds, and then re-injured his toe while diving to save a ball from going out of bounds. He is doubtful. So you are going to play against the Sixers without Ingram and without Steven Adams in your front court. Sixers are coming off their 6th straight win, 135-115 at the Rockets. Embiid had 34 points in just 25 minutes, 12 rebounds, 2 on 14 and 16 from the line. It's the 5th time in 7 games he's played fewer than 26 minutes. Shake Milton had 19 off the bench, and Furkan Korkmaz is the only guy on the injury report. He's got a sprained right ankle and is out for tonight. Ooh-wee. And there's Jeff Slaughter in the house. Says, now that's a good looking at. Go Saints, go. Respect, Jeff. It feels like a Sixers smash spot, doesn't it? Let's take a quick look at what we're getting on the first half on the Sixers. -5. And Billy Brisbane, although he will be there in person rooting for his Sixers, says might have to pass on betting this game. Zion props are no bet. How are the Pelicans going to handle the Sixers front court without Ingram and Adams? And my guess is not well. 76ers first half -5 for me. We move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Boston Celtics at Chicago Bulls. I had planned to bet on the Celtics today, and I decided not to. Robert Williams questionable for Friday's game with a turf toe. If Robert Williams is announced in, then I will pull the trigger, but I need him. I can't have Tristan Thompson, who's now probable to be my main center against this very dangerous Vucevic-led front court. And if you saw that first time they finally started this lineup that they wanted to start, Vucevic, Levine, White, Theis, and Williams, that's a huge lineup. You have 3 7-footers out there, and it was dominant. Absolutely dominant. It's not. Brady said, when I looked at this game, I thought for sure I would be on the Pelicans, and the more I looked, the more I came up with the 76ers. I think you're right, Jimmy. It's just a front court issue. I mean, you need Adams and Ingram so badly against the Sixers front court. Okay, let's talk about Celtics Bulls, and my plan was to be on the Celtics. They're 2-point favorites first half. Let's see what they are full game. They're sitting at -4. There's been no movement. This total opened up at 222. It's now at 223. Johnny K is on the Bulls. United Center, Chicago, Illinois. Celtics pass 5. They're 3-2. 9th in pace at 103.25 possessions a game. Bulls are 1-4. 24th in pace at 97.00 possessions a game. Celtics are coming off their third win in 4 games. 132-96 at Orlando on Wednesday. Kemba Walker tied the season high with 32 points in his return from a 4-game absence. Fournier goes for 18 points in his first game in Orlando since being traded. Tatum goes for 27. Jaylen Brown, ankle sprain, might rejoin the team, but he's already been ruled out. So he might rejoin the team in Chicago, but ruled out. Romeo Langford is in NBA's concussion protocol, so it's unclear if he's going to be good to go. And Jerry Beatty says Ingram is a ball hog, takes too many bad shots, play the over with him out. More people get involved. That's an interesting look. The total's gone under 12 of Charlotte's last 16 games at home. Interesting. Let's go back to this Bulls-Celtics spot. Bulls on the second half of a back-to-back after easily defeating the Hornets last night, 120-99 in Charlotte. Vooch goes for 29 and 14. Levine, 13 points after missing 11 games due to the league's health and safety protocols. And that lineup is so big. It's so big. So I think the second half of a back-to-back with bringing back Vooch and Levine in the lineup will be difficult. I think they're very excited about these 3 7-footers in the lineup. And I am going to stay off this spot. Shout out to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Who that think they beat them Taints? All right, let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic at Charlotte Hornets. We just got the note from Viper that the total's gone under in 12 of Charlotte's last 16 games at home. We're at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. In the past 5, the Magic have gone 3-2. They're 12th in pace at 100.70 possessions a game. The Hornets are 2-3. They're 27th in pace at 96.40 possessions a game. And we have Charlotte opening up as 7-point favorites. Let's move to 7.5. This total sitting at 217. It's actually moved to 217.5 at a couple spots. Yeah, respect it. Don't ask, don't tell. All right, Magic's coming off that 132-96 loss at home to the Celtics on Wednesday night, snapping a surprising 2-game winning streak. Bacon and Moritz Wagner each scored 20 for Orlando. Mo Bamba goes for 19, 15, and 4 blocks. But Wendell Carter, Terrence Ross, Chuma Okeke, Michael Carter-Williams, James Ennis, Otto Porter Jr. are all out of the lineup. Hornets are on the second half of a back-to-back after an ugly 120-99 loss at home to the Bulls last night. P.J. Washington, who missed Charlotte's last game for the birth of his child, goes for 24.6 threes. Malik Monk bounced back. Why was I not on the Malik Monk prop? I said that he was going to bounce back after that offer, and God, I just very, very, very upsetting. It was a miserable night for LaMelo. He goes 1 of 10 from the field, finishes with 4 points. You have Cody Martin, Devontae Graham, Miles Bridges, and Gordon Hayward out. I do not want to make the same mistake that I made in the last game. I want LaMelo props, and I'm going to move on LaMelo props after a horrible night and a chance to fix it right away against the Orlando Magic. I'm gonna move on LaMelo props. I've got to study it a little further to decide whether I'll go just points or I will do points, rebounds, and assists. Sammy running it back with PJ Washington over points and rebounds. I get it. All right. I don't want the Hornets at this price. If I had a free bet, I'd take the Magic. But with the Hornets getting destroyed last night, they didn't push hard, so they should be rested for a bounce-back spot. Both teams probably bounce back. LaMelo props for me, and he says points or points rebounds assists. I got to study it a little harder. We move on to 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm only going to bet one of them as well. Oh, God, maybe he's in the double-up spot. I'm going to have to study a little harder. Minnesota Timberwolves, 20-46, 8-25 on the road at Miami Heat, 35-31, 19-15 at home. We already heard from Dutch Boy Fresh that he's on the Timberwolves +6, although that is not his freshest look. His freshest look is Jokic over in points. Timberwolves, Heat opening up at -6.5, and that's where they stand right now. This total opened up at 224.5. It's now at 226.5. American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida. The Timberwolves are 3-2, 8th in pace at 103.35 possessions a game. Heat are 3-2, 28th in pace over their past 5 at 95.60 possessions a game. Timberwolves coming off their second straight tight loss, 139-135 at home versus Memphis. Memphis overcame a huge game by Anthony Edwards, went for 42. That tied his career high. Cat goes for 22, but had foul trouble. Picked up his 5th foul in the third quarter. It was bad coaching. He should not have been out there in the third quarter, but you have to think that if he didn't have the foul issues, that the Wolves would have won that game. D'Angelo Russell goes for 22 and 14. Jalen McDaniels is ruled out for Friday's game against the Heat, personal reasons. Heat had their three-game winning streak snapped in a 127-113 loss at home to the Mavericks on Tuesday. Duncan Robinson and Goran Dragic each scored 19. The Heat played without Jimmy Butler. He was ruled out 2 hours before the game of flu-like symptoms. He's questionable tonight. Ariza goes for 16 of his 18 points in the first quarter. Victor Oladipo out. Tyler Hero, questionable. Brady says, I bet mini +6 and money line. And he's gambling a bit that Butler does not play. But Mini has really good numbers in Miami. I agree. Why can't we get that hook? Is that hook available now? Yeah, 6.5 right now. The fact that it's at 6.5 tells me that Butler will try to play. I'm not sure how he'll be feeling, but I expect him to try to play. Let me get this up here. I'm going to need – we have a – okay, I'm going to move on the Timberwolves up +6.5. They're just playing good ball. It just feels like a Heat victory, but the Wolves cover. All right, let's get to work here. We move on to a interesting game, too. And I find these huge dogs like the Rockets, who are playing with a very short bench, almost no bench, a very interesting bet early. Because I know that the guys in the lineup want to play desperately. Let's talk about this Rockets-Bucks spot. And you have to think there might be a letdown spot after these last 4 games for the Bucks. There's our guy, Skywalker DFS, in the house. Love you, Sky. Thank you for joining us. Skywalker, big Saturday next week. Not this week, but next week. Big Saturday with the Preakness. Hope you can join us. Okay. Houston Rockets and Milwaukee Bucks. Rockets 16-50, 8-23 on the road. Bucks 42-24, 23-10 at home. We're at Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Rockets are 1-4 over their past 5. Pace at 104.30 possessions a game. Fast. That's 5th in the league. Bucks are just a little bit faster. They're 4th at 104.80 possessions a game. Bucks are 4-1 over their past 5. Rockets are coming off their 3rd straight 20-plus point loss in a 135-115 loss at home to the Sixers on Wednesday. Olnick goes for 27. KJ Martin, career high 23 points. He also added 10 rebounds, 6 assists. They started the game with 8 players available. Christian Wood missing the game with a sore right ankle. Jayshawn Tate out with health and safety protocols. They were left with just 7 because Kevin Porter Jr. left the game with a sprained left ankle about 8 minutes into the 3rd. Beautiful, Sky. Beautiful. I will definitely send you the links. Big Saturday. We're in 8 days for the Preakness. So let's just go over exactly what Houston is dealing with here injury-wise. So Kevin Porter will not play. And then, damn, Kelly Olynyk is questionable. Sore right ankle. So Jayshawn Tate has cleared COVID protocol, so he will be in. Eric Gordon, Sterling Brown out. Daniel House, doubtful. DJ Augustine, questionable. God, it'd be nice to have him in the lineup. Avery Bradley, personal, won't play. Christian Wood, questionable. Okay, look, there's just too much here. So I was saying, I'd like to see if a couple of these guys get in and then maybe move on a first quarter with the Rockets at a huge price. Be curious to see what that price is right now. Rockets first quarter. All right, we have 30 minutes. We still have half the NBA card and the full NHL card to get to. Let's see what we're dealing with the Houston Rockets here. First quarter, they're 5.5-point dogs. All right. Wow, DC. Really? Concert tour is 2-1? I thought we'd at least get a 5-2. Ugh. And Sammy FanDuel double Wolves money line with Edwards over in points. Okay. Let's move on. Well, let's talk about the Bucks briefly here. They're coming off their 4th straight win, 135-134 at home over Washington. Drew Holiday goes for 29. Antetokounmpo fouled out with 1 minute and 54 seconds left. They also were playing without Chris Middleton, and they still found a way to win. DiVincenzo went for 19. Tucker replaced Middleton in the starting lineup, but he left with a sore jaw. He's listed as probable right now. Let's go over to this spot. There's one of Ella's baby toys right there, and it's off, and it's going on. There's this satanic fucking baby toy in the living room that we've turned off, and it's still making sounds. I'm going to throw it off the balcony. I'm going to throw it at a pigeon as soon as this show ends. Fucking satanic baby toy over there. All right. So Tucker, is Middleton going to be back? I need to find this out right now very quickly here. Milwaukee injury report. They're not on it. So, all right. So they're all expected to be in the lineup. Okay. Brady says under in the Rockets, Bucks, plug your nose and hit it. Let's just quickly go back to full game here and see what we are dealing with. Houston, Milwaukee, 232. It's gone up to Pinnacle's moved it to 233. So if you are going to hit it, I'd wait for the other books to follow suit because that number will likely go up to 233 here. Okay, let's move on. I've already taken the Cavaliers at plus 10.5. It was a bet that I wanted badly. It's now sitting at 10. Bookmakers moved it to 9.5. If anybody wants the Cavs, bet it now. I do not think it's going to stay at 10.5. There's our guy Jake Kaiser in the house. Jake, thank you for joining us. Cavaliers 21-45, 9-24 on the road. Mavericks 38-28, 18-15 at home. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Cavs have lost 8 straight, but it's not as bad as it looks. They're 0-5 in their past 5, obviously. They're paced 20th in the league, 98.16 possessions a game. Mavs are 4-1. Their pace is 16th at 99 possessions a game. They played the Suns very tough on Tuesday. They took them to overtime. They got blown out in overtime, but they played them tough. It was the first of a back-to-back. The following night, they get blown out by the Blazers, 144-105. They're playing without Darius Garland, who's got an ankle injury, and he's not going to be in the lineup here. But Sexton can move over to the point, and Isaac Okoro can be the shooting guard, and he went for 32 in that capacity versus the Suns. And Joe Yurevich did move on the Indians -1. And Dutch Boy Fresh says Luka under 30.5, average 27 last 4 on back-to-back strong lean as of now. That makes a ton of sense to me. Mavericks are now won 5-6 on the second half of a back-to-back after a very difficult 113-109 win at home over the Nets last night. Luka played 36 minutes, won 24-10-8. Dorian Finney-Smith played 39 minutes. Hardaway played 37. Kristaps Porzingis and Max Kleber are hurt. They didn't play last night, and they're both doubtful to return tonight. And the Mavs bigs are not strong without those guys, and you're asking too much of Finney-Smith. He's 6'7", 220 pounds, and you're asking him to be a power forward. He just played 39 minutes yesterday. They still have Willie Cauley-Stein and Dwight Powell, and this matchup is a lot easier against the Cavs than it is against Durant and Blake Griffin. But I think it's going to be hard for them to get up against the Cavaliers 24 hours after beating Kyrie and KD. So I think that this is a spot here. Turndy said, I've had lots of success betting Doncic props under on back-to-back this past couple of years. So, yes, I think that under for Luka is very interesting. Luka under a Dutch look. And Dutchy says Cavs backcourt, only thing I don't like. I think they can cover the double digits. I bet it immediately. I got 10.5. If you guys want it at 10, bet it now because it'll be 9.5 soon. And what happens if they give Luka a rest? You know? Brady says Dallas very inconsistent versus bad teams. I think your play's a real good one, Jimmy, and I will jump on board. That was the only bet I gave out on the radio show this morning on Raw Mike Richards. Was the Cavaliers plus 10.5. All right, we move on to Denver Nuggets, Utah Jazz, and we get to the freshest look from our Dutch boy, Fresh, and he is on the Jokic over 25.5 points here going up against the Jazz. We're at Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have Utah opening up as 4-point favorites, and that's where it stands right across the board. This total opening up at 216.5, and Pinnacle's moved it to 217.5. The other books haven't yet. And I do think that the other books are going to move towards whatever Pinnacle is doing. Nuggets are 4-1 over the past 5, 16th in pace at 99 possessions a game. Jazz are 4-1 also over the past 5, 21st in pace at 98.10 possessions a game. Nuggets bounced back from their loss to the Lakers on Monday with a 113-97 win at home over the Knicks. And Jokic was dominant in that first quarter. It was unbelievable. 24 of his 32 points in the first quarter. and he's going to cash my MVP bet on him at plus 550. I just can't believe I only bet $50. I swear, I even bet $50 on a bet. I couldn't tell you the last time. Why was I being such a pussy? $50. I was certain I'd bet at least $100, and I went back and looked, and I was like, what? What a little bitch. Austin Rivers scored 11 of his 25 points in the fourth quarter against his former team. Michael Porter Jr. goes for 17. Campazzo goes for 16 points and 9 boards. Also had 5 steals for a second straight game. Malone doesn't expect PJ Dozier to be back in the lineup. Barton and Monte Morris also remain out. Dutchy says last 3 meetings, Joker's averaged 37. He will dominate because he has to be aggressive. Jazz are coming up their third straight win, 126-94 at home over the Spurs. Clarkson goes for 30. Bogdanovich adds 24. Mitchell and Mike Conley, are going to miss another game. They both remain out. And I wonder in a very, very important game like this if Slow-Mo Joe could play a big role here. So Jokic over is our look from our man Dutchy. And then I wonder if Slow-Mo Joe would be something that I would want to add as well. North End says, I'm tailing the freshman. Went 2-0 yesterday tailing, so it's a no-brainer. Shout out to our man Dutch Boy Fresh. And he's going to have graphics here on our show very, very soon. We just need to make sure that they're as fresh as he is. And that they're as fresh as our Taint graphics. So we've set a very high bar with Jose on the 1s and 2s producing the show. He's doing great, great work. Another shout out to our man Jose. All right, let's move on to 10 p.m. Oh, and if you're looking for side or total action for me, I'm pretty hesitant. With this 4, and it's a big game for both squads. And I think it's lined correctly. All right, let's move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. New York Knicks at Phoenix Suns. Knicks are 37-29, 15-18 on the road. The Suns are 47-19, 25-9 at home. We're at Phoenix Suns Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. The Knicks are 3-2 over the past 5, 23rd in pace at 97.30 possessions a game, while the Suns are 4-1 over the past 5, 29th in pace at 95.12 possessions a game. The Knicks open as 7-point dogs. They're now 6.5, and that makes sense. Feels like it's a possible bounce back spot for these Knicks. This total opens at 217. It's now at 217.5. And Joey Yurkovich looking at a fresh taint parlay right now. Puzzler is with Dutchy Fresh in that look. Knicks had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 113-97 loss at Denver on Wednesday. Randall goes for 14 and 8. Derrick Rose, Bullock, Barrett each scored 14 points. Knicks had won 12 of 13 before that loss. Suns had their 5-game winning streak snapped in a 135-103 loss at Atlanta on Wednesday. It was a bad spot for them. They just played that overtime game against the Cavs. It was the third road game of a 3-game trip. Atlanta outscored Phoenix 38-15 in that final quarter. That Suns' first field goal of the whole quarter was by Langston Galloway 3 at 2:33 minutes remaining. They had arrived in Atlanta at 2 a.m., and then they had their COVID test right before noon. I mean, that was just a very tough spot. Bridges, who had 18 points, was the Suns' only other scorer in double figures. 2 scores in double figures. Cameron Johnson, questionable. Jay Crowder is out. Respect Turnsey. It feels like a Knicks bounce back spot. And obviously the Suns will play better than we saw them play in Atlanta, but it just feels like the Knicks are capable of keeping this close. Doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like the Knicks are capable of keeping this close? And also with the Suns coming back home after a road trip, dealing with all the bullshit at home, it also feels like it's a Knicks first half spot just in case the Suns want to pull away late, because they're more than capable of doing that. So why not Knicks first half plus 3.5? And that is what I will be on. Knicks first half plus 3.5. We have 2 more games on this card, and then we got to get in NHL very quickly. So let's move. 10 p.m. Eastern, Lakers trail Blazers. Lakers are 37-29, 19-14 on the road. Blazers are 37-29, 16-16 at home. We're at the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Lakers are 1-4 over the past 5, 14th in pace at 99.40 possessions a game. Blazers are 4-1 over the past 5, 11th in pace at 101.30 possessions a game. And Sharpie on the Mania strikeouts over 6.5. Simple fate of the Razors strikeout 48% of the time versus lefties. Wow, Sharpie, that's a great stat. Gerald Jones says, best bet, Portland -4, first half, playoff game in Portland. Lakers on back-to-back, low weapons. Very, very interesting. From Gerald Jones, our man Gerald Jones. Portland Lakers, first half, best bet. Lakers, let's see what the market is here. We have, that is a first half is at 4.5 spot for the Blazers. Full game, it's 8.5, and this total sitting at 221.5 with no movement. Lakers are on the second half of back-to-back after an ugly 118-94 loss to the Clippers on Thursday. Dutchie gave out Clippers first half. I wish I had moved on it. Lakers have lost 4 or 5, 6 games remaining in the season for them. Davis was limited to 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Tweaked his ankle after stepping awkwardly on the scores table in the first. He got up, stayed in the game, and later ruled out due to back spasms. He expects to start Friday. He said that he expects to start. Kyle Kuzma led the Lakers with 25 points. Taylor Horton Tucker sat out and will be out Friday too with a right calf strain. Also missing is Dennis Schroeder due to health and safety protocols, and of course LeBron James. And not only that, LeBron James isn't on the bench for these games. There's no medical reason why he's not on the bench. He's just not there. Billy Brisbane says Lakers might be the play in game. An MMA locker room on Kings Spurs first half over 110. Says my Kings play no defense and score with the best. -4 first half for Gerald Jones. And DC says take the Lakers to take it all plus 350. They're waiting for the postseason. Look, we need to see LeBron James out there playing comfortably because he's advanced in age, and when you start dealing with injuries. But I mean, if they're healthy, I get it. DC, you're getting a nice number. But that playoff stretch is very difficult. And with LeBron not coming in 100%, touch and go, man. So we have a Gerald Jones best bet on the Blazers first half, which does seem to make sense to me. Touch Boy Fresh liking it as well. Blazers first half here in a hugely important game. Because if the Blazers, if the Blazers win it, do they have a chance at hosting the Lakers? Is this 7-8 for the play-in game? Because that would help immensely if they were hosting that. Okay, I don't have time really to look it up. Why am I looking it up? God. Okay, let's just move over here as fast as possible. If they have a chance at hosting this playoff play-in game, you know they're going to be. No, because the winner of this can stay out of the play-in game. But the reward for that is playing the Clippers in the first round. God, West is just a tough conference. Dutch Boy says very close to having that look on my card. Gerald Jones best bet first half on the Blazers. Okay, and shout out to Dutchie and to Birdie. Birdie says, Dutch, good luck today. Thank you for all you do and how generous you are sharing your picks. You are a solid human being, my man. That is from Birdie to Dutch Boy Fresh and well put. All right, let's move on to the last game on the card. San Antonio Spurs and Sacramento Kings. We've already seen from our guy MMA Locker Room that he's on the Kings Spurs first half over 110. And that makes a lot of sense. They're playing efficient. They're not playing at a very high pace. Spurs are 0-5 over the past 5. They've lost 5 straight, obviously. They're limping to the finish line. They're 22nd in pace, 97.73 possessions a game. Kings are 4-1 over the past 5, 13th in pace, 99.80 possessions a game. Spurs are coming off 126-94 loss at Utah on Wednesday night. Lucas Samanik scored 15 points to lead the Spurs. Vassell and Eubanks each had 14 points. DeRozan had 6 points. That's his lowest scoring outfit since January 30th. Trey Lyles, Derek White, both out, and they're not coming back. I feel like that this is a spot for the Spurs to fight. And let's just look at the standings for the West here. The Spurs are holding on to that 10th spot for the playing game by the skin of their teeth. It feels like a spot, and Puzzler just took Portland first half -5.5 at +107, going for a plus money spot. Viper says the total's gone over in 5 of San Antonio's last 6 games when playing on the road against Sacramento. It does feel like an over, doesn't it? And you're getting a decent number. It's not a ridiculously high over. Not only that, but I'm going to take D-Row props. I'm going to take D-Row props and the over. And Trinity says, I'm tailing that first half over. That is beautiful look in my eyes. All right, let's review NBA and then move on to NHL. We don't have a long time for that. This is our review of NBA Sixers first half -5 is going to be on my card. Then I would love to know if Robert Williams is going to be in the lineup, but with a turf toe injury, maybe he's in the lineup and he gets hurt early, just like Steven Adams yesterday. Maybe I just stay off. I want LaMelo props in the Hornets game. I'm going to decide whether that's points or points, rebounds, and assists. Timberwolves +6.5 will be on my card. Then Cavaliers +10.5 is already on my card. And then we have the freshest look. That's Jokic over 25.5 points. And I'm very interested in slow-mo Joe props. So there are going to be 2 looks. There's Eric Chang joining us. Thank you, Eric. Nice job. Nice job, David Norris. Going to eat. All right. New York Knicks first half +3.5 will be on my card. Yeah, Eric, it was a rough day. It was a rough day all around. Portland Trailblazers first half of Gerald Jones best bet that I think I will tail. And then we finish up with the first half over a MMA locker room best bet and a D-row prop. And I might even double up on those overs and also take full game. Okay, there you go. Let's move in. And Fat Win looking at Spurs third quarter. Oh, and he said, are you taking that Luka prop? Sorry, didn't I have that written in? Thank you, Dutchie. I thought I had that written in my... Yes, I have the Luka under right there, and it's just down 2 lines. Okay, beautiful. And Stu Boo coming in saying, what is the taint? Stu Boo, the taint play of the day is the Twins -1.5 at plus... Twins -1.5 at +110. Eric Chang says, why isn't Dutch on these shows? Good question, Eric Chang. It's something that we are working on at Pop Sports Radio. We want to be in the Dutch Boy Fresh business. All right, let's move on to NHL right now. We start with Flyers at Capitals. Flyers 23-7, 12-11-3 on the road at the Capitals, 13-14-5, 15-7-3 at home. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Flyers power play sitting at 19.5%. Their penalty killing being bad all year long at 71.9%. Capitals power plays at 25.9%. Their penalty killing at 83.4%. Let's jump into the odds and see what we are dealing with. I wish this wasn't all divisional games because I would love to fade the Flyers nonstop down the stretch, but playing against these rivals of the Flyers means that you can expect some form of fight in them. There has been a market move towards the Philadelphia Flyers. This total's also gone from 6 to 6.5, and Ski Profit, who made, we would call Gulfstream Park Gulf Ski Park, because his dominance there, has already cashed the first race there. Attaboy Ski. It is Elliott versus Vanek, says North Ender. With the amount of games that I had to cap, NHL sadly took the back seat, and I hate that it did. So let's get up the starting goaltenders. But we have, and thank you, North Ender, for your help there, Elliott versus Vanecek. And let's move over here. And I imagine that we are sitting here knowing that there will be no Ovi for these last couple games of the year while they're waiting for Ovi to get right. Let me just double check on the injuries and have this up. I have made no bets on this NHL card. And when I was looking for action for Raw Mike Richards show, there was nothing that I had confidence in, or at least enough confidence in, to move on it. So we move over to the Caps right now. The Vanecek, who has now become, we got McElhaney. Is it a McElhaney day? Vanecek, 1994, 2.73 goals against average, 907 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Brian Elliott is so bad. He's just so bad. Slat says on 2 games, Caps regulation -130 and first period over 1.5. Carlson to get an assist, and the Blues over 5.5. God, he's just so bad. Brady says, I can't bet Philly because I have Caps division future, but if I was smart, I would buy back on this game. Brady says, I really want the Caps here, but something's keeping me off. Everything says Caps, but for the same reasons we faded New York, we have to fade Washington for the same reason. It's a little different. That was the very following night. But these aren't games where Philly's just going to not try. These are games where Philly's going to keep fighting. And at this point, they have Ovechkin, Schultz, Wilson all day today, and Kuznetsov day today. I agree completely. This is not a spot where we can sit here really confident on Washington. Although they have moved 13 cents in Washington's direction, and the total's gone from 6 to 6.5. Turnsy said all I took was the over, and it was a nice job getting it probably at the 6, because at 6.5, I don't want it. I got to stay off this spot. These last games of the regular season are touch and go. Now we have Red Wings at Columbus, Detroit, Columbus. Columbus opening up at minus 143. There's been an 8-cent move towards the Detroit Red Wings. This total is sitting here at 5, and it's just minus 125 to the over. And Brady says hard to match the emotion even on a day's rest. I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. And we have the debut of Matisse Kivlenieks. We saw him last year, didn't we? We saw him last year. Kivlenieks. I'm not pronouncing that right. He will make his first start of the season going up against Thomas Greiss, who's 7.15-8, 2.72 goals against average, 9.11 save percentage. Something makes me feel like they're going to fight for this spot, Columbus is, and that it's his first career start. Why do I feel like we saw him last year? No, it's his first career start. I guess he came up and backed up, but didn't get off the bench, off the pine. You know, the Red Wings 10.3% power play, 78.6% penalty killing. Jackets 15.5% power play, 80.0% penalty killing. Transit says I want to take the win so bad here. Someone talked me off. It makes me think that this Jackets team is going to play for this rookie. You know, I think the Jackets are the spot here. You know, the one thing about Tortorella is, and the Jackets right now, is they're playing for roles and jobs next year. And I'm not saying that's not happening with the Red Wings. Okay, yeah, first start this year. Northander, I'm certain that he played. I shouldn't say certain, but I believe. Northander says, I think the Wings will be Joe Public here. I think that's a mistake. I think the Jackets are the spot. I'm going to add the Columbus Blue Jackets to my card here. Don't ask, don't tell. I love him so much. I love him so much. Don't ask, don't tell. Okay, let's move on to Stars Lightning. The question is, okay, now we won. Sorry, I thought you already won that first race. Attaboy. Johnny K is also with the Jackets. I found this, I'm with you guys, Slats and Birdie. I found this a very, very rough card that I really didn't want anything to do with. And we now see that McElhaney is in net for the Stars, and he's not been very good this year, but he's a trusted guy. And then we have Kudobin on this other side, and he's not been very good this year either for the Stars. Let's see what we are dealing with here. This total sitting at 5.5, juice to the under. You're going to get a plus line on that over. I find that appealing. And then we have the Stars sitting here at opening up at plus 136, an 8-cent move towards them now at plus 128. So let's get to these NHL standings right now and see exactly what's going on. Do we have a spot where Dallas needs to fight here? Because I feel like the Lightning have allowed the Hurricanes to take care of, so the Hurricanes can't catch the Lightning, but they do need home ice against the Panthers. That's going to be crucial. And then with Dallas, we have Dallas done. Dallas is done. Makes me think. Dennis says Columbus tonight, Detroit tomorrow. That makes sense. Brady says, you're right, Jimmy. Red Wings are just more settled than the Blue Jackets who have such uncertainty and have to play for jobs. That's well put. You know what? I think this over. I think this over at plus money is a nice spot. Thick Dick McGee in the house. All Thick Dick has joined us. The taint is the Twins minus 1.5. I think this over 5.5 at plus money is worth action. Then we have the Ducks Wild up next. Anaheim, Minnesota. John Gibson confirmed, and Kaapo Kähkönen, who has looked so vulnerable. He's looked so vulnerable. So if the Wild want to win this game, they better be scoring. Ducks open up at plus 233. They're now at plus 254. So a 21-cent move towards Minnesota with Kaapo Kähkönen, who's not looked good. And then we have a total here at 5.5. Gibson, 9-19 and 6, 2.95 goals against average, 904 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Up against Kähkönen, 15-7-0, 2.69 goals against average, 909 save percentage. Goals are going to have to be scored. Very curious to see what our NHL guys think about this spot, because Kähkönen has not looked good, and he's lost that starting job. And makes me think that the Ducks could be live here. They feel good about themselves on the road. And then the over. So I'd like to hear. We don't have time for me to hum and haw, so I'm very interested in the Ducks and the over 5.5 here. Ducks overs are not a fun place to be at. Brady says, so I've not bet it, but the only bet in this game is the Ducks. Wild, like the New York Islanders, feel like a flat run coming. I agree. All right, then we have Blues, Golden Knights. We have 3 minutes till the start of the Babano CMAX show. And Brady says I would caution on the over. Yeah, I guess the Ducks just don't play the overs. And they just don't play the overs. Is it that simple? It might be just that simple. Oh, yeah, Slatsy. Says good luck from the only city in North America with a curfew. And Brady says if many scores, they win running away. But Gibson's playing well. Okay, so we have Blues, Golden Knights is the next spot here. This total is sitting at 5.5. And the Golden Knights are playing very good hockey right now. Johnny K also interested in the over. I mean, if Minnesota's going to get theirs, maybe then I should. Okay, I'm going to question that over 5.5 and stare at it for a while. Okay. Then we have Blues, Golden Knights next up. Golden Knights open up minus 155. There's been a big move towards them. The Blues are playing uninspired hockey right now. And it's because the Coyotes never pushed them for that spot. The Blues know exactly where they're going to be, playing the Golden Knights in the first round of the playoffs. And you have to wonder if either team wants to show them very much, if either team wants to send a message. This is going to be a stay-off spot and a watch for me. Then we have the Avalanche versus the Kings. When are the Avalanche going to step up here? Because they haven't been doing that down the stretch. They now know they're also going to be – they have to win this game. They could lose that home ice advantage to the Wild. They have to win this game. And they're coming off some poor play. And LA has no reason to care. And then you have two teams with no reason to care in the Coyotes, Sharks, and I just stay away from Sharks games altogether. The Avalanche have to come up and they have to beat the Kings here. They need to ensure they get home ice, and they have to get on a roll here. Brady says best betting spot of the day, Blues first 10. Money line. Blues first period, money line. Says you show up all your best angle of today's card. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to take the Avalanche to win here with the Kings having nothing to play for. So I'm going to take the Avalanche minus 1.5. Okay, here is my NHL card locked in. Well, won't be locked in for a bit. Eric Chang says if Vegas wins it all, he'll jump into Bellagio Fountains. Respect. So I'm going to be on the Jackets, and I'm going to either go minus 1 in puck line. I'll decide. I'm going to be on the over 5.5 in Stars Lightning. I'm interested in that over 5.5 in Anaheim. Minnesota's going to need more time. I'm going to be on the Ducks, though, for a huge score, and I'm going to be on the Avalanche minus 1. And, I don't know if I can pull the trigger on the Ducks. I still don't know if I can pull the trigger on the Ducks. I'm going to keep thinking about the Ducks. Johnny K says Kings good on home ice. They are, but the Avalanche have to win now. They have to win. All right, that is my NHL card. Get over to Babano and CMAC Best Bets. Have your guys a great weekend, but let's get paid here. Let's get paid. I need to get paid. It was a bad day on Thursday, and the Derby destroyed my bankroll. And I'm in the vulnerable spot. I need a good day today. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for Jose on the 1s and 2s. Get over to Babano and CMAC. But most importantly, let's get paid in full. I will see you guys Tuesday. Leche. Hey, Los Bookmakers! Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.